Yo, what's going on guys, Tanmay here for Simple Snippets and welcome back to the third video tutorial under the web development series. So in the previous video tutorial of this web development series where we are going to be developing a complete responsive business portfolio website, what we saw is we saw a little bit of introduction to what is Bootstrap. We understood that what exactly is a Bootstrap framework, and we also set it up into our system offline. So we downloaded all the Bootstrap library files, that is the CSS file as well as the JavaScript files which are necessary for Bootstrap. So if you have missed that video, do check that out. And if you have already seen that video, then this is something that we have arrived at after that video. Okay, so this is our template. And before we actually get into the complete development series and move ahead in this tutorial series, I want to give you a very brief overview about this Visual Studio text editor, because this is a very powerful text editor. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through a little bit of Visual Studio Code settings, that is this settings which are there in this text editor. We're going to see a couple of plugins which work very well, which will speed up our development process and make us smart programmers. And that's the goal of this entire series. We don't want to work hard all the time unnecessarily. We want to speed up our development and make our web development much faster as well as smarter. Then we are also going to go through a little bit of color themes, that is the dark theme and light theme. In fact, I put a post yesterday on this asking which color theme should we go ahead when we move ahead in this development series. And lastly, we're going to be checking what is FontAwesome icon library. Okay, so this is something that we will be needing. So we'll set that up in this video series itself. So this is going to be a quick short video, not exactly a development video, but this video will definitely help you a lot, because a lot of tricks and tips and hacks in the Visual Studio Code IDE or text editor are going to be used as we move ahead in this series. Okay, so let's quickly go through some basic Visual Studio Code settings. So if you have installed this for the first time, then this is how your IDE would look like. Okay, so you can go ahead and open a folder. You can see, you can just select this and select folder, and then your folder will come over here with your necessary files. Okay, so if you don't have these files, just create them. Just create a default.html file in that folder and you can easily open it. Okay, so this is something that you can do, or what you can do is you can go to your project folder. So this is our project folder. Just right click on it and you can see open with code. Even this will work. Just click on it and your Visual Studio Code IDE should work very well, and it would open this entire folder which will come over here. And you can see we have the Bootstrap folder inside our test code folder, which has other child folders like CSS and JavaScript. Now the next thing is, let's just go through a little bit of settings, and to go through that you can see a cog wheel over here, settings icon. Just click on it, click on settings, and this is something that you will see over here. Now if you have freshly installed this Visual Studio Code IDE or text editor, this autosave feature will be off for you by default. I have turned it to after delay, and I have given a delay of 500 milliseconds. So what happens is, when you turn on this autosave to after delay, so let's say I'm typing something over here. So after 500 milliseconds of inactivity, that is if I do not type anything for 500 milliseconds, this file will be autosaved in the background. Okay, so that is what that autosave feature does. So coming back to the settings, I've turned it on to after delay and given it 500 milliseconds. You can do this. I have changed the font size to 20. It would be less for you, but I have done it so that the text is visible in the video. You don't have to do that. You can change the font family and tab size and whatnot. I've kept the tab size to 2. Tab size is when you click tab, the cursor moves 2 spaces ahead instead of 4. I suppose it is by default 4. And these are the only basic things that I've changed for the settings. You can go through all the settings. There are different things over here. So next thing is, if you hit F1 on your Visual Studio Code, this gives you a pop-up which can be used to navigate to anything on the entire Visual Studio Code text editor. So if you want to go to settings, just type in and click on settings. So if you are lost and if you want to search for something on this text editor, just hit F1 and just type whatever you are searching. Let's say you are searching for themes. If I click on themes, you will go to color themes and so on and so forth. Now this was very basic Visual Studio Code setting that I have done. Next thing is the live server plugin. Now this text editor is already much powerful, but what happens is, if you want to add more functionality to it, you can add some extensions or plugins. So extensions and plugins add more feature to it. So one such extension is known as the live server. So just click on this extensions icon over here. So it will give you this set of already given extensions or suggested extensions, and some of them are already enabled on my Visual Studio Code because I have already done that. But just type in live server over here and you can see this first extension, which is live server by Ritvik Day. Just install it. Right now I've already installed it, so it's giving me disable and uninstall. For you, if this is a fresh install of Visual Studio Code, then you'll get an option of install, and once you install it, you'll get an option of reload also. So what this plugin does is it creates a local server on your system. Okay, so just install it and reload your entire Visual Studio Code ID and come back to your code, and once you have reloaded it, you'll get an option of go live over here. Okay, if you click on it, your browser will run and you'll get this default IP address. So this is your loopback address, that is your local machine address, and the port address is 5500, which is their default port address. And after that, you can see the file name, that is this default.html. So what exactly that plugin did, that is the live server plugin did, is it created a server on your system, and this server is constantly checking for changes on your default.html page. So if I say Tanmay, if I just erase this out, you can see immediately without me refreshing the page, that text got erased over here, right? So this happened because when I erased this text, let me just type it again. After 500 milliseconds, this entire HTML document got saved because of the autosave feature we turned on. And once it got saved, this server refreshed itself to check if there is any changes, and since there were text changes made, automatically it got reflected. Okay, so this is that live server plugin. Now this will save a lot of time, because a lot of times what happens is we have to completely type it out, we have to save it, we have to refresh it. So this will save those few seconds, and trust me guys, when you actually move in real world scenarios, in real world actual web development, every second counts, and this will definitely speed up your programming or development process. Okay, so the next thing is Emmet plugin. So Emmet is a plugin which adds a lot of features in terms of code abbreviation and shortcuts for code. So for example, if I want to add a division, in simple terms what we do, we say angular brackets, we say div, and we close the division, and then the division closes automatically get coming over here because of the IDE. But even this can be time consuming at times when you do it from scratch, when you're typing all the code. So this Emmet plugin is inbuilt in Visual Studio Code ID. You don't have to install it separately. Okay, so you don't have to go ahead and search in the extensions for Emmet for Visual Studio Code. For some other code editor, if you're using Atom, I suppose you have to separately install this plugin. And I don't know if it is there in Sublime. I suppose it is there. I have not used it a lot, but that's why I recommend this IDE, because this is probably one of the most famous text editor for web development specifically, and not just static, but all sorts of web development can be done in this text editor. It is very powerful. So coming back to Emmet, what you can do is you can just type in div, and you can see there is a pop-up showing Emmet abbreviation. So now if I hit enter, you can see the div and close div tag already came, right? When I just hit enter. Similarly, if I just want to add a heading tag, I can say h1. Again, Emmet abbreviation came. I can hit tab also. Okay. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just the scratch. Now what if I want to create a division which has a class of my class? Okay, so what I can do is I can say div, I can say dot my class, and if I hit tab over here, you can see the division is also created and the class is also added. Similarly, if I want a div with a particular ID, so what I can do is I can say div, I can say hash my ID. If I hit tab, the division is created with that particular ID. Okay. If you want a paragraph with some text in it, or any HTML element with some text in it, you just type the element name. Let's say this is paragraph. I'm going to say P. I'm going to say opening and closing curly braces, and I'm going to say this is some text. If I hit tab, it's already generated over here. You can see live, it is also changing because of the live server plugin, which is activated right now. Let's take this to the next level. What if you want a structured code using that Emmet abbreviation, that Emmet plugin? Let's say you want a division inside which you want a paragraph. Let's say you want a division and you want a paragraph inside that division. So what you can say is you can do div, you can add the closing angular bracket, and you can say P, and if you hit tab, a division is created and inside that a paragraph is created. So this hierarchical structure can also be done. Let's say you want to create 3 paragraphs. So I can say P star 3, and if I hit enter, 3 paragraphs are created. So you can see how powerful this Emmet plugin is, and right now you might not be able to fully understand the capabilities of this plugin, but when you actually get into web development, each and every second saved is a blessing, and you'll really find that these kind of plugins definitely speed up the entire development process, and a lot of things can be done. This was just the tip of the iceberg. As I told, we are not going to be needing a lot of things, so I'll drop a cheat sheet in the video description, and you can go through different shortcuts you can do in Emmet, which will help you speed up your development. Okay, so moving ahead, we have color themes. So the next thing is, I just wanted to ask you which color theme should we go ahead in this series. Now, a lot of you guys voted for dark theme. So let me just show you the themes that we have. Just hit F1, just type in themes, and you can see preference color theme, just click on it. So there are some light themes available, there are some dark themes available, and some of them you probably would not have. For example, NetBeans light theme you won't be having if you've just installed this Visual Studio Code. That is because I've installed it separately. So if you want more themes, what you can do is you can go in the extensions tab, just search for themes and make sure you're connected to the internet, and you can see then you get all these dark theme, base 16 themes and different kind of themes. Okay, so you'll get a lot of themes over here. Coming back to our preference color themes, you can see there are a set of light themes and dark themes. Now the confusion is between light theme and dark theme. So the current one that I'm using is NetBeans light theme, which gives this entire code a NetBeans kind of effect. If you have used NetBeans ID, this is the color coding scheme that goes over there. So in dark theme, what I have installed is a theme known as Monokai Contrast, which is a very contrasty based dark theme. So you can see the background is pitch black. It's not some other color black. It's completely black. And then this text becomes very bright. Okay. So I'm not sure how this looks in video. So that is the reason why I'm really confused, because what I have observed is dark themes look very cool, but I would prefer it for personal development. When it comes to watching a video, if you're watching this video in 1080p, just go to 720p or 480p quality and compare this black theme with the white theme and see which text is clear. Because right now our primary criteria is that the text should be very clear, and looking cool can be done separately. You can install dark theme on your system for yourself, but the primary thing for this video series is which text looks better. Okay, that is which text is more clearer. So I'm not really sure. Personally, I feel the light theme looks better in terms of video, and when you are doing personal development, I prefer dark theme. Okay, so there are other themes also. You can just go through each of them. Monokai Contrast, Monokai Dim, normal Monokai, which gives a sublime text kind of look. And then we have different light themes also. So right now I'm just selecting NetBeans. What you can do is again dial down the quality from 1080p to 720 or 480 and see if the text is clear. Do that for the same dark theme and let me know in the video description which theme should we go ahead and which theme is more clear. That is in which theme is the text more clear. Okay, that is the main primary criteria. Okay, so coming to the last thing, that is FontAwesome Library. So FontAwesome is an icon library which gives us set of free icons which we can directly use. Okay, so let me go to our browser. Just type in fontawesome.com or you can just Google it out. The first link should do it. So what it does is it gives us vector icons and social logos which you can directly use in your website. So right now we are just going to use it for free. It is open source. These free icons can be used anywhere. If you just click on start using for free, you can see this one link. You just have to copy this entire link. I'm going to just copy this, come to our code, and below our CSS, if I hit enter over here, let me just maximize this. If I just paste this entire link, so this is where that entire CSS is located. Okay, the FontAwesome CSS. Now this is the CDN way. So right now we are linking the CSS style sheet online, so your internet is necessary. Now if you go on your code, if you come to your code, the way you use it is you have to use the I tag, that is the italic tag. So let me just show you how to use this. I'm going to say I tab, I'm going to say class FA, and I'm going to say FA-user. Okay, so these are two inbuilt classes which are there inside this all.css style sheet which is provided by FontAwesome. And what it does is it creates an icon. Okay, so coming back to our website, you can see this icon. So this is that FontAwesome icon which was created. Now it works with italic tags or span tag, I guess, but we'll use this italic tag. So this is how it is meant to work. So whenever you create an italic tag with a class FA and some other class, it will create that particular icon. Okay, now we have different icons over here. So if you go on the icons tab, you can see there are many icons. Just click on the free ones. Let's just select any one of this, and you can see this I tag. Just click on it, it gets copied. Come here and paste it, and if you go on your website, you can see that icon is added. So if you're wondering what this FontAwesome exactly is, as I mentioned, it is an icon library. So just as we have regular fonts, we have Times New Roman, we have Courier, we have Monotype, Cursiva and whatnot for text. Similar to that, we have fonts for these icons which are web fonts, and FontAwesome in particular is based on CSS and less, I suppose. And I'll drop some links if you just want to get into a lot of theory about it. We're not going to get into a lot of detail about how exactly the icon is generated and so on. We are directly going to be using it into our system. But one last thing that I wanted to say is, right now we are using this online, right? And our motto is to use everything offline, because we've downloaded the entire Bootstrap library also offline. So the way you go ahead and do this offline is just scroll down and click on download button. Click on FontAwesome Free for Web and your download will start. Go to your download folder. You can see I've already downloaded it. So I'm just going to delete this one. Just right click on it and extract it. So once extracted, just go to this folder, right click on it, copy it and go to your project folder, wherever your project folder is. So in our tutorials code, in the test code, this is our actual project folder. I'm just going to paste it over here. So now that you've copy pasted it, just go into that and you can see there is a CSS folder inside this. So what we are interested in is, as you can see, this is how they have mentioned how to use it. So the css/all.css file contains the core styling plus all the icon styles that you'll need whenever you're using FontAwesome offline. And the web fonts folder contains the typeface, that is the actual font. Okay. So we are only interested in the CSS folder in the all.css file. So go to your coding and completely erase this out, because now we've downloaded the entire folder of FontAwesome, that is the entire library. Go to FontAwesome Free /css/all.css and that's about it. So we have actually downloaded the entire FontAwesome library offline and this one CSS file should do it. Let's go to the code and there you go. You can see if our icon is available over here, which means that the library is available. So if I just erase this out and if I go over here, you can see the library is not there. So that's why the icon is invisible. If I paste it again, the icon becomes visible. Okay, so that's it for this video, guys. These were the 5 different things which I wanted to set up before we actually start off in the programming and coding of the entire website. I know these things are pretty small, but they will definitely help you in your further development. Like the live server and Emmet plugin will definitely help you increase your development speed and make you smart developers and smart coders instead of copy pasting and typing all the stuff from scratch. This will definitely speed up your process. So that's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Do share it with your friends. Let me know in the comments how this video was, and also do let me know which theme should we go ahead with. And with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video over here and see you guys in the next one. Peace.